This is the school food waste and composting training. Let's dive in with Corey, the compost worm.
Waste is universal and waste is connected. And that is the beauty of speaking to students and helping them learn the messy truth about their garbage. So back to the basics, as we look at average production generation of students, on average, students produce 1.5 pounds of waste every single day. And this is, taken from many studies, and they've come up with this as being the average amount. So if you're a high school with 535 students, that's 72 tons per year. If you need to bring it to something a little bit more tangible, it's equal to 5.5 school buses, or 9 elephants, or 11 killer whales on average. Good means to relate this information to your students. So today, I'd like to start with really highlighting the Technical Assistance Program, the STAR of Sustainability. And the reason I'm highlighting this today, because it is the perfect first step for helping students learn about their garbage, helping schools assess their recycling programs. So the STAR assessment is NRRA's proprietary school recycling inventory and review. It was developed for NRRA by Heather Greenwood in collaboration with Antioch University, New England, and it provides a comprehensive quantitative and qualitative report on a school's recycling and waste reduction efforts in 5 key areas. And you can see those 5 areas: collection, education, participation, motivation, and evaluation. And we'll review all of those today. So the STAR assessments take roughly an hour. It's depending on, the school size, and to complete it. And then we have to have access to the entire school when we do it. The report provides clear, unbiased suggestions and areas for improvement, as well as a baseline data for future examination of your school's recycling program. And this is why it's a great event for the fall, because you can have the STAR of Sustainability, do the assessment in your school at the beginning of the year, figure out your plan of action, and then you can check out what's happening at the end of the year and see where you may have improved and made changes to your recycling and waste management, integrated waste management systems in your school.
So what is the purpose of the STAR assessment? Well, here's a list of things. We want to take a look at what your school is currently doing with their trash and recycling. We're going to measure the involvement of your staff and the students. We're going to make suggestions for improvement by reducing waste and increasing recycling. We're going to set goals for the future. We're going to instruct your students on the importance of recycling to environmental stewardship. And we're going to try and save you money by reducing your hauling costs. This is basically the nuts and bolts of everything that you're doing at your school. We'll help you save money by reducing costs. We have seen schools that have as little as 1 teacher who is passionate about recycling and drives their program, up to a whole culture of teachers that are involved with their school recycling, and passionate students who are also involved. That's the sort of involvement we'll be looking at. We'll look at the kinds of systems you have, if you have them. If you have colored bins, are they co-located? Are your trash bins all together? Whether you have student monitors to make sure the right thing goes into the right bin, especially during the lunch hours. We'll offer baby steps for getting your program going. If you're just starting out, we have a wonderful Team Earth activity guide on our website that offers small steps that you can take for your class to get involved in recycling before you're ready to launch your program. And again, if you're a member of NRA and you join the Team Earth program, you'll get points for those activities that you complete. And you'll be awarded levels of bronze, silver, and gold. So that's an incentive to your students and keeps them interested. We all know about the problem of the global impact of plastics. Most of the kids are already aware of this. We hear it from them all the time. We add to the fact that there are leachates that are coming out of some of the landfills and what that does to our water. They're always surprised to learn that you can recycle an aluminum can forever and ever. These are just some of the things that they learn through the feedback from these not only the STAR assessment, other technical programs that we have. And finally, we want to let the kids know what it costs. As Cindy was saying, it costs less to haul recycling than trash. So if you can save your school or your school district money, there's a possible opportunity for funding. We've had some schools that actually return that money to the student body, and the body would elect to do something with regard to recycling. Some of them get those drinking fountains that actually record the number of trees you're saving by using a reusable container for your water. So we like to involve the kids. We love it when we can give back to them. We love it when a school is involved with its local transfer station, because sometimes it takes that kind of partnership to get those kinds of recycling rewards coming back to you. So I'll leave the rest of it to Cindy to go through the details in the next few slides. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to start showing you the pages of our slides here. So we have the pre-assessment. This is what can be done ahead of time. We don't have to be on site to do this. We can easily just make a few phone calls. We start off by reviewing the town's recycling and diversion efforts. As Gwen just mentioned, we really try to strengthen that bond between the town and gown whenever possible. So first, we're identifying all the key school staff and contact information. We're identifying the town stakeholders. We've had lots of input from town recycling committees that have been very interested in helping with the school recycling program. So sometimes they're that link between the town and gown. Other times, the doing a trip to the transfer station, maybe the school will bring the recyclables to the transfer station, and they can, again, another nice outdoor activity field trip for the students is go to the transfer station and to see how the recyclables are being processed, as well as inviting your town transfer station attendant to come to the school and possibly give an assessment of what is the school doing to help with the whole programs in the town. So again, that calculating the school waste potential based on what can happen within the town, and then what do they need to do that maybe the town can't be involved in, that needs to be shipped elsewhere. Then we look at the collection aspect. So we explore the waste and recycling dumpster capacities, what is being collected in all areas of the school, from classroom to kitchen to library to so forth. And this helps us identify what areas produce what kinds of trash or recycling. Looking at the containers and the signage, because this is a place, if you really pay attention to your containers and signage, you can make a huge improvement in your recycling rate. So all of these were right now just assessing our pre-assessment, who are the stakeholders, what's happening in the town. Collection is straight up going around, noticing what materials are being collected, what do the containers look like, where are those containers located. Education, though, is key, as we know, in schools. In the classroom, we're looking at how the students are making those signs. Are there signs next to those containers? Are the signs easy to read and to understand? We here, and while you have it circled, we have our very first star. So you'll see that to the right of that oval. The stars give you a little bit of bonus points. So the students may be doing an average job with their education, but they get a star if they're educating other students, like maybe as a cafeteria monitor. So if we go around and you're looking at, you know, the signage, it's like, yeah, it's average. Maybe they don't have a lot of signs up or not in the proper places where they could really make a difference, but they have someone in that cafeteria every single day helping the students divert their organic waste from the regular waste. So they would earn a little extra star, which gives bonus points as we're doing the analysis. So again, posters, projects, lesson plans, competitions, vermiculture, worms in the classroom are always a lot of fun. That's education in the classroom. And then we look at, here we have some samples of education around the school, good clear signage. There's also the education at the collection sites. So as I mentioned earlier, how are those signs? You know, can people understand what is exactly going to go into that bin? Here we have the TerraCycle program. We have a little composting bucket program, clear poster, and then we have a classroom. It looks like it's a library or something, a classroom system all set up for sorting with signage. Another part of the education that we look at in the STAR assessment, as we're saying, we're trying to get this to go beyond the teacher and the student and just the class, is to look at the stakeholder groups. So when we're educating the stakeholders, it is a key element of the STAR assessment because it identifies who is receiving the recycling education, how often, if they have those signs available at the recycling points, and then ultimately which stakeholders are having the most impact. So as you can see here in the oval area, is it students or staff administration, faculty, facilities manager, food services, parents and the community, and again, bringing in the municipality and the town. So beyond just the students and what's happening in the classroom or just what's happening at the collection station. And then education, these go a little bit bigger. Sometimes you have a recycling corner. Maybe there's workshops that are being held, whether they're, you know, school assemblies. Maybe there's people that come in and do the workshops like NRA would do. We like to also see if people are updating the progress, sending letters home, again, bringing in the community to this program. So there's a lot of people buying into it and helping out with it and participation. So, you know, you can see how they sort of blend together, right? The collection, the bins, the signage. Well, of course, that's part of education. And then we're talking about educating in the classroom and educating the stakeholders. And that runs into who's participating. So here we have more stars, bonus stars as part of the participation. So this though goes a little bit further because it scales the stakeholder groups. It looks at the school culture and the support groups. So such as your recycling club or your PTA, PTO, PTA. So we're giving the star this time, rewarding the particular recyclers. So for example, there may be a food service person who takes the food waste home from the compost pile, or as like Gwen spoke just about the chickens, right? Something that you have a person taking it from the school into the community. You might have anything from, you know, organizing assemblies like we talked about, who's organizing the assemblies, or a poster contest, who's carrying the recycling bins to the larger recycling containers that are outdoors. So all of that, looking at and ranking the effectiveness of each person who takes part in the recycling program. We move into motivation. So again, motivation, if everyone's participating, but how are we motivating them? It's measured by the efforts as a poster contest, assemblies, speakers, and celebrations, as well as coming back again to that goal setting, possibly giving awards, doing some incentives for that. So if you're looking at the goals, the material that you're collecting, how do you increase your participation? Are there educational components that you really want to include? How can you decrease the waste stream? How can you eliminate your material? So those could be some goals that you set in your motivation that, again, you're going to be working on throughout the school year. The incentives could be profit sharing, awards, scholarships, community service hours. Nice way, because I know a lot of upperclassmen need to have some community service hours. Why not get involved in either the town recycling program or the school recycling program? Another part of the motivation is events and celebration. I'll beat that one to death because, again, having these visible events and celebrations That's going to motivate people. It's going to make it fun. Make managing your waste fun. Yes, you have your research. You have to figure out your container sizes and what you have for trash, do your waste audit. But that waste audit can even be a fun event. We have the Trash on the Lawn Day, which is another one of our technical assistance programs. And that is when we do an all-day waste audit, and we get the entire school involved with sorting the waste that's been collected a few days prior to when the event is going to happen. So another way, again, to motivate people: competitions, assemblies, performances, celebrations, make it fun. Celebrate what you're doing with recycling and reducing your waste. Evaluation comes last. So now we've looked at all of those sections, all of those points to the star. The evaluation is going to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your program. It goes on to suggest areas of improvement and possible next steps that a school might undertake. So here we have the more traditional star for going above and beyond, and we take the time to identify the strengths and weaknesses as areas to promote or improve upon. What is next? Again, setting those goals, making sure you're planning, and then you're reaching those goals, whether they're short-term or long-term goals. Increasing your club membership could be very simple. Starting a club, adding materials to what you're collecting. Maybe you need to reorganize the cafeteria. What food is being served on, what portions of food, everything that can do with food waste in your cafeteria. Again, your mission statement, lesson plans, keeping the lesson plans going in the classroom throughout the year. It's very easy to tie in waste management, integrated solid waste management methods into reading, math, science, art, design, pretty much every single class subject. Earth Day celebrations are always a big one, and again, planning that waste audit. We like to start when I say about the STAR assessment, we tie those two together. We will do a STAR assessment and the TOLD. It's traditional. I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but usually if we're doing that waste audit, the TOLD, we will do the STAR assessment while we're there that day as well. Because again, now you have these two beautiful pieces that you can start putting your plan together for the school year. And then this is what happens at the end. All of this, all those numbers and bonus points for stars and how you rated 1 to 5 on evaluation, collection, education, participation, and motivation come together in an algorithm to create this star of sustainability. Again, showing that it's interconnected, your processes, how efficient you are, and the value of your waste. The results are produced in this graphic of the 5 elements. And we're doing all of this for sustainability because it is the ultimate goal. And we do give you a write-up, the general summary of how you might best meet any of your goals or improve any of these points in the future. And again, thank you. This is the Northeast Resource Recovery Association, and we would like to thank the USDA for providing funding for us to be able to do this program.